Hello everyone! Today we will be making one of my favorite cakes, Napoleon. Unfortunately, buying a ready-made delicious Napoleon is not an easy task, but that's not a problem. Today we will make it ourselves. We will prepare a tasty aromatic dough and make an unusual custard cream. It will be with a twist. As always, I remind you to look in the description. There you will find links to my other cake and dessert recipes. The description includes a link to my Instagram, where I'm waiting for you all. And there in the description, you will find a detailed list of ingredients that we will use today. And we start making the dough. Let's start with preparing the puff pastry. It's very easy to prepare. We will need butter for it. It should be very cold. I put it in the freezer in advance for 30 minutes. My butter is 82% fat. Of course, it can be replaced with margarine, but it will affect the taste. I wouldn't recommend it. First of all, grate the butter on the smallest grater so it's easier to knead. I'm thoroughly wrapping the butter in flour. I also sprinkle the grater with flour. I periodically mix the butter and flour, and in the end, I get such a crumb. Don't forget to add salt. We will also need cold water for the dough, and it's best if it's icy. I also put the water in the freezer for about 15 minutes. And we add 9% vinegar and 3 yolks to the water.
Okay, and I'm stirring it.
Now we mix the liquid ingredients with the breadcrumbs. I make a small indentation in the breadcrumbs and pour all the liquid in. I first mix it with a fork. Then just a little bit with my hands, simply folding the dough from the edges to the center. We don't need to achieve uniformity in the dough, just gather it into a lump. After the dough has gathered into a ball, I divide it into 14 crusts. They weigh about 75 grams each for me. I cover it with cling film and put it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. While the dough rests, prepare the cream. Combine the sugar and eggs, add the cornstarch and mix thoroughly. You should get a mass without lumps. Heat the milk in a saucepan. We need the milk to be very hot, but it doesn't need to boil. Now we add the hot milk to the egg mixture in small portions and stir thoroughly each time. Pour out half of the hot milk, then return the egg mixture back to the saucepan with the remaining milk. Stir well and put it on the fire. Cook until it becomes the consistency of thick sour cream, like this. The highlight of our cream is the boiled cream with the addition of white chocolate. This will give a special taste to the cream and the cake. Add white chocolate to the hot cream and stir well. Now the cream needs to be cooled to room temperature. For this, I cover it with cling film in contact and put it on the balcony. It's cold outside now, and the cream will cool down quite quickly. We combine room temperature butter with the cream and whip until the ingredients are combined. The cream is ready. For extra flavor, you can add lemon zest or vanilla. Now, let's return to the dough. We take one ball of dough at a time and roll it out to the desired size. For me, it's 23 centimeters in diameter. Keep in mind that the dough will shrink and decrease in diameter during baking, so leave an extra 2 centimeters from the desired size as a reserve. While we're rolling out and baking one crust, we keep the rest of the dough in the refrigerator. I slightly move the trimmings away from the crust, prick the crust with a fork so that the dough doesn't rise too much, and bake in an oven preheated to 180 degrees for 8 minutes. During this time, the dough will settle and become layered. We do the same with all the dough. That's how the stack of crusts turned out. Let's break the trimmings, see what kind of dough is inside. It turned out to be layered and crispy. Let's assemble the cake. I prefer to lay out all 14 layers on the table and evenly distribute the cream between them. Don't forget to leave some cream to frost the sides of the cake. We distribute the cream and stack the layers on top of each other. we spread the cream on the sides. Since the boiled cream sets quite quickly, I recommend sprinkling the cake with crumbs right away. We grind and sprinkle. Additionally, I put a ring to make the cake even, pull it with food film and put it for stabilization. Overnight is best, but it's hard to resist. I couldn't resist and cut it after 4 hours. Even now it cuts well, but of course it would be better if it stood a bit longer. Beautiful cut and a very tasty cake. The Napoleon turned out amazing. Write in the comments, do you like Napoleon? Will you cook according to this recipe? And have you ever made boiled chocolate cream before? See you in the comments and in the next videos. That's all for me today. Your Sasha. Bye bye.